What happens when NVIDIA takes its most powerful Blackwell GPU, loads it with a ridiculous 96 GB of memory, and aims it straight at professionals instead of gamers? You get the RTX PRO 6000 Blackwell Workstation Edition. This card is not meant for gaming. But of course, we're going to test it anyway. Today, we'll cover specs, how it compares to the RTX 5090, thermals, gaming performance, ray tracing, and why anyone would even consider buying this thing. Let's get into it. At first glance, the RTX PRO 6000 and RTX 5090 look similar. They're both based on NVIDIA's massive Blackwell die. But once you dig deeper, the differences start to matter. The RTX PRO 6000 packs 24,064 CUDA cores, compared to 21,760 on the RTX 5090. That's nearly an 11% increase, which is huge outside of just memory-heavy workloads. Speaking of memory, this is the real reason this card exists. The RTX PRO 6000 comes with 96 GB of GDDR7 VRAM. The 5090? Just 32 GB. That alone changes what this card is capable of: large-scale AI models, massive 3D scenes, complex simulations, and heavy machine learning workloads that simply won't fit on consumer GPUs. Clock speeds sit around 1,590 MHz base and 2,617 MHz boost, and it supports PCIe 5.0. It also uses a Founders Edition style cooler, unlike the server variants that rely on forced airflow from rack-mounted systems. This version is clearly meant for high-end workstations, not data centers. Considering it's a two-slot design with 96 GB of memory, the cooling here is impressive. In sustained rendering workloads, the RTX 5090 ran at about 72 degrees Celsius on the core. The PRO 6000, however, hit 82 degrees Celsius, about 10 degrees hotter. VRAM temps were roughly similar between the two, sitting in the high 80s. That's warm, but not unexpected given the density. Fan speeds? The 5090 averaged around 1,550 to 1,600 revolutions per minute. The PRO 6000 spun a little faster at around 1,700 revolutions per minute. So yes, it runs hotter. But considering what it's packing, this is still a strong showing. Is this card meant for gaming? Absolutely not. At 4K, the RTX PRO 6000 consistently outperformed the RTX 5090 by about 5 to 7% across most titles. In some games like Cyberpunk, that lead jumped to over 10%. At 1440p, the gap shrank slightly. At 1080p, everything became CPU limited, because no one is realistically buying this card to play at 1080p, unless they really hate money. The funny part? You're paying roughly $500 per 1% performance increase over the 5090 in gaming. That should tell you everything you need to know. With ray tracing enabled, the gap shrinks. In heavy ray tracing workloads, the PRO 6000 only leads the 5090 by about 3 to 6% in most cases. The more intense the ray tracing workload, the less benefit you see from the extra compute resources. However, the huge VRAM buffer ensures one thing: no stutters. No memory bottlenecks. No texture streaming issues. If you've ever seen a GPU choke because it ran out of VRAM, this is the nuclear solution. So, who is this card actually for? Not gamers. Not casual creators. Not YouTubers editing 4K timelines. This card is for AI researchers, machine learning engineers, simulation specialists, VFX Studio's massive 3D workloads, scientific computing, Unreal Engine and virtual production. If your workflow needs 96 GB of VRAM on a single GPU, this card makes sense. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know, would you game on a $8,000 GPU just because you can? I'll see you in the next one.